Welcome back to the Friends with Benefits Car Club, the only place where we question whether cars are freedom or just glorified rolling iPads. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, hit the bell, and share this video, because I promise you, the other car channels aren't going to give you BMW kissing confessions and social commentary in one sitting. Today we're talking about the future of driving, or maybe the end of it. Companies like Tensor, AutoX, Waymo, GM's Cruise, and Tesla all believe we'll stop driving and just let the machines handle it. For Gen Z, it's already happening. And for Gen Alpha, driving may never even matter. Let's get into it. Let's talk about who's actually making this future. Waymo, already running robotaxis in Phoenix, San Francisco, LA, and Austin. Tens of millions of trips, now even expanding into Denver and Seattle. Smooth rides, good safety record. GM's Cruise, tested in multiple cities, but then had some very ugly failures, like dragging a pedestrian 20 feet. Regulators were not amused. Tesla, Elon's promised full self-driving for over a decade. Now there's a robotaxi in Austin, but it's making mistakes like wrong turns, phantom braking, and even heading into oncoming traffic. Peak Tesla energy. Tensor, AutoX, a Chinese-based company, wants to normalize owning personal robocars, not just hailing them. Imagine buying a car and never even touching the wheel. Who do you think wins this race? The cautious pro Waymo, the struggling challenger Cruise, the hype king Tesla, or the Chinese disruptor Tensor AutoX? Not everyone hates this future. Plenty of riders are loving it. Waymo passengers in San Francisco say the rides feel safe, confident, and even smoother than human drivers. Cyclists have said they feel safer next to Waymo cars than humans because robots don't swerve at the last second. Waymo data backs this up. They've got fewer crashes per mile and fewer injuries compared to human drivers. And regular people say it's convenient, eco-friendly, and just flat out reliable. Some even prefer it to Uber. If you knew a robocar was statistically safer than human drivers, would you switch, or would you still stick to humans because at least they know how to improvise? Of course, it's not all smooth rides. There are nightmare stories too. One rider missed their flight because the Waymo just kept driving in circles around a parking lot. Another got trapped in a Waymo in Austin. It stopped in a merged lane, traffic flying by, doors locked, only gave up after the rider threatened to go live on TikTok. Tesla's robotaxis in Austin, wrong lanes, phantom braking, abrupt stops. One even drove into oncoming traffic for several seconds. A Business Insider writer said their Tesla ride was mostly fine until it nearly went the wrong way down a one-way street. And Cruise, their car literally dragged a pedestrian. That single moment tanked their reputation and paused their expansion. Be honest, if your first ride did something like that, would you ever get back in? Or is that one strike and you're done forever? Cars used to mean freedom. Now they mean debt. Insurance equals robbery. Gas equals gambling. Maintenance equals monthly subscription you never wanted. And Gen Z, they're already drowning in student loans, so buying cars just isn't the dream anymore. A lot of them inherit a ride from mom and dad, or just rely on Uber. If you were 18 today, would you even want a car? Or would you stick to ride sharing until you're forced to buy one? Alright, let's talk about where this whole thing is headed. Because the future isn't about owning cars, it's about subscribing to them. Yeah, welcome to Mobility as a Service, or MaaS. Think Netflix, but for wheels. Instead of arguing with a dealership for 5 hours and signing your soul away at 12% APR, you'll just pay a monthly fee and cars will show up when you need them. Need a ride to work? Tap the app. Need a truck for moving day? Tap the app. Want to flex with a sports car for date night? Tap the app. Congratulations, you just binge-watched transportation. Waymo's already on this wave, expanding service areas in places like Austin, Denver, and Seattle. You don't buy a Waymo, you summon it, and people actually like it. 4.9 stars out of 5, which is hilarious because I've never seen anyone give a taxi driver 5 stars unless they gave out free gum and therapy. Tesla's robotaxi dream? They want you to own the car, but rent it out when you're not using it. Basically, Elon wants your car to go out and make money for you while you're at work, like an Uber driver that never needs sleep, but probably still ignores your playlist. GM's Cruise? If they survive the PR nightmare of dragging pedestrians, they're also aiming for this future. Fleets of robotaxis, all GM branded, cruising around cities like mechanical worker bees. But here's the problem. MaaS sounds amazing until you realize what you're giving up. No more spontaneous road trips in your car, no more modifications, no more sense of ownership. Just a subscription service where cars are appliances. It's like renting shoes. Sure, it works, but do you really want to be the guy whose transportation history looks like a Netflix continue watching queue? And then there's the nightmare scenario. subscription tiers. You thought streaming wars were bad? Imagine MaaS Basic, you get a Corolla with ads. MaaS Premium, you can actually pick your destination without 3 mid-route bathroom breaks. MaaS Plus Ultra, congratulations, you finally get heated seats and a car that won't lock you inside while circling the airport. Audience, question, would you subscribe to a car service like Netflix if it meant you'd never deal with maintenance again? Or would you miss the pride of owning your own set of keys? Now, I get it. This model makes sense for big cities. In New York, LA, Chicago, it's perfect. Cars are expensive, parking is a war crime, and public transit smells like regret. MaaS solves that. But in the suburbs, in rural towns, forget it. People out there aren't subscribing to a car, they're still running trucks until they collapse, then duct taping them back together for another decade. So here's the outlook. Car ownership isn't dying, but it's definitely changing. In cities, access will matter more than ownership. In suburbs, cars will still be king. And for enthusiasts, we'll still be hoarding the good stuff, driving it until the government tells us otherwise. MaaS might be the future for most, but for us, driving is the future, and the future isn't negotiable. Look, I get it. Autonomous cars are safer, smoother, and smarter in many ways. They don't fall asleep, they don't text, they don't fight with their girlfriend while merging onto the freeway. But here's what they don't give you. The feeling of handling, of sliding a car through a corner just right, balancing throttle and steering like you're dancing with physics. When you brake at exactly the right point, downshift, and nail the apex, that's not transportation, that's an art form. Try telling me an algorithm can replicate that, and I'll laugh you out of the room. A robocar will never understand the joy of intentionally letting the back end step out a little, catching it perfectly, and powering out of the corner like you own the road. That's driving, that's life. And braking, real braking isn't just slowing down, it's timing. It's knowing you can wait one more heartbeat before hitting the pedal and still make the turn clean. That's the adrenaline rush. That's what separates people who drive from people who just get from A to B. Now, here's where it gets fun. EV culture. People love to say EVs are boring, soulless, just computers on wheels. But let me tell you, the real car nerds, the hackers, are already having their fun. They're jailbreaking Teslas, unlocking hidden horsepower, adding more torque than the car was ever meant to have. They're tuning software instead of carburetors. But the spirit is the same. It's the same rebellion that made people slap giant turbos on Supras or swap engines into Civics. Just a new era of chaos. EV lovers are drifting silently through corners, laughing as their car delivers instant torque like a rocket. And honestly, that's driving too. The passion is alive. It just looks different now, whether it's burning gas or burning electrons. Enthusiasts will always find ways to make cars more powerful, more personal, and more insane than the factory intended. So, here's where I stand. The future might split into two worlds. On one side, you've got people who don't care. They'll summon their Tesla or Waymo or whatever's cheapest on their phone, ride in silence, and never think twice. On the other side, you've got the diehards, the corner carvers, the drag racers, the hackers unlocking hidden EV potential. And I'll be honest, those are my people. Because driving isn't just about transportation. It's about connection, about passion, about knowing that if you make the wrong move, it's all on you. And if you make the right one, it feels like magic. So, let's settle this. Would you ever trust your life to Waymo, Tesla, or GM Cruise? Or do you think driving is too good to give up? And do you think Gen Alpha will ever care about driving? Or is it officially dead by the time they grow up? Drop your answers in the comments. I want to know if we're steering toward the end of car culture or just another weird evolution. And don't forget to hit like, smash subscribe, and share this video with your friends. This is the Friends with Benefits Car Club, where we laugh, rant, and debate the future of driving. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep driving, and remember, if the car you're in doesn't make you feel like a superhero, you're in the wrong one. Friends with Benefits, driving off.